Alright guys, Fula coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDVC. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to do an album review. As you know, as I've said before, I'm a hip hop head. I'm about good music. When the music is good, you can catch me listening to it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be hip hop. It can be different genres as well. I mean, maybe down the line I'll start reviewing different genres, you know what I mean? But anyhow, let me cook on the album. And you know, this album was a long time coming. I mean, I should have actually reviewed it before, but it's a long time coming. I didn't review it, and I should have been on it, but I guess for whatever reason I wasn't. But anyhow, man, let's get to it. So of course, I mean, it's no question, if you've been rocking with me for a while, you know that I am a Nip Hustle guy, and I kind of like get offended when I see the fake love or when I see people disrespecting his name, because, as I said before, he approached me. He said, "Hey, how are you doing? Are you all right?" And we just started talking up after that about just random things, about like just how LA is changing. And he just included me kind of like, although I wasn't like in the immediate circle, I did manage to like talk to him, hear some music that wasn't released and everything. And all I can say is that he was, I mean, the music was going to be super something crazy, and so I just hope to God that Black Sam puts out this music. I really hope to God that Black Sam does this. And I know it's hard for him, man, it's very hard, but the thing is, the music is what I really want to say impressed me about him, because that's how I first heard about him. It had nothing to do with his business ventures. It had nothing to do with that. It was just the music. But then when he told me, like, "Oh, I have a store on Crenshaw, come check it out," then I said, "Yeah, of course, bet, no question. I come support and I come buy some stuff," which I have. And, I'm trying to get some more stuff as we speak. And, I'm also trying to support his guy, Cobby Supreme, because he has a little clothing stuff as well. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't just like believe in like fake love. Like, that's not my thing. Like if I rock with a guy and I find out the people around him like are rocking with him or support him or doing something, I gotta ride with them by default too. Like, I necessarily, like, for example, my country's leader, like Amilcar Cabral, like, he was aching to like other giants like Thomas Sankara, like Samora Michelle and stuff like that. So I rock with them too, because they were contemporaries of one another. And so that's how I look at the whole Nip Hustle situation. So I rock with Cobby Supreme, I rock with Cuzzy Capone, I rock with Pac-Man, I rock with all of them. And so today, who I rocked with, after listening to it, I had to listen to it in really good detail. I'm rocking with J Stone and his new project. His new project is called Definition of Loyalty. And man, this is a project that, I think should get more attention. But just due to the nature of the kind of rap that is presented in this project, it's not going to really be like kind of like a mainstream thing. You know, the thing is about Nip Hussle is I think more people knew him for what he was doing outside of music than they actually did know him for the music. And that's unfortunate because I respected him for the music just as much as what he was doing outside the music. As a matter of fact, I put him in my top 5 dead or alive. I had to like basically reshuffle my top 5 dead or alive because the music, you know, that's the thing. I enjoyed the music, the lyrics, the lyricism, and the style of rap in which he presents and in which the rest of the people present on his theme, All Money In. And that style of rap is called reality rap. And so in reality rap, what's going on is they're just presenting like they're painting a picture of what it's like where they come from and life experiences in which they went through. And that type of rap does not necessarily appeal to the mainstream audience who is looking for just like the dance in the club record or the trap record, because of the simple fact, like, they don't want to hear about that stuff. They want to hear about a happy-go-lucky, you know, type of up-tempo music. They want to hear that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So with Jay Stone's album, he has some things that are kind of like that. You know, he has features that, you know, I guess you can say would appeal to like the kind of pop, you know, the pop music kind of audience, as far as like those who are looking for those like radio friendly records. He has that on there. You know what I mean? You know, because he has guest features like Jeremiah, like the R&B dude. He has him on the album. And so he does have those records, but for the most part, the music is raw. It's like straight raw reality rap, talking about like street life, dropping jewels to you from like being in the street life, you know, just like really some jewels coming from those kind of the kind of narrative in which he was presenting, you know, in that music. And so, you know, and here's another thing that I liked about the project. This is what I liked about the project a lot. We got to hear Jay Stone, okay? We got to hear what Jay Stone had to say. Although he has the guest features, you know, Game is on the album, Wale is on the album, Currency, one of my other favorite guys, you know, who's unfortunately horribly underrated, is on the album. And also, who else is on the album? G.I. Joe is on the album too. And I'm trying to think what is another guest feature who he had on the album. Gotta think. I'm trying to think of another one that you wouldn't expect to be on that album. He had a couple of, like, I guess you can say R&B crooners on there. But I would have to look up their name to see who they were. But anyhow, as I was saying before, the best thing about this album is we got to hear Jay Stone. We got to hear him, because like the average person may think, oh, he's just under Nipsey. He's just a guy under Nipsey. He's just like, you know, people may think that, oh yeah, this is just one of Nipsey's guys, and just real recognize that as such, instead of recognizing him as an individual, you know, with his own story to tell and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, many people may brush him off as just, oh, okay, he's under Nipsey. You know, we like Nipsey, but we don't really care about the other guys. And this is not the case with this album, because you can tell by the guest features that this isn't the case with the album. And another thing about the album is Nipsey is on a chorus of a song, and he's on the intro of the album, and that's it. You know, besides that, he's not really all on the album like that. And the only other all money in artist that's really on the album is what's his name? G.I. Joe. Now, here's the thing too. The first track definitely, you know, the marathon continues. That track, you know, I don't even want to say it, but that thing made me cry. You know, it just brought back too many memories about how the whole thing went down. You know, just the whole incident. I'm not gonna lie, I cried in my car. You know, like I was tearing up like a lot. You know, and I was just like, but it was a well done song. That's the thing. It was a really well done piece of work. The other song that's really good that I like is called Thugs Cry. And that just gives you the reality of what goes down basically in America. If you're from like a marginalized population and you're a minority, and the social traps that are set for you, you know, as a minority, you know, it just gives you that. And that song Thugs Cry, I like. The one with Currency is good. Mind on a Million is good. That one, and the beats are nice on this album. I like the production on this album. It has a very good, like, it has a modern feel, but it still has that old funk West Coast feel too. And this brings up my last point on this album. And I think it's because of the poll in which these all money in artists were surrounded by. You know, I'm not overshadowing Jay Stone at all. But the thing is that when you really think about Nip, he was a lyricist. You know, like, he wasn't just like a rapper. Because a rapper, you know, he'll say things like, you know, like a rapper will say things like, I'm trying to think of a line that's like a basic line that you can know that that's a rapper. You know, take this group, they're an old group, they're called Young Bloods. Like, their style was very basic. It was a very basic style, you know. They'll say something like, we're way out, we just bring them K's out. Like, that's just like a basic rapping. But Nip, he was a lyricist. He would say things that you're like, oh crap, you know. He would say things that you would have to dissect, you know. That's the thing. And I think because of that kind of energy rubbed off on the rest of them. Because when you hear Cuzzy Capone, he got bars like that are like kind of heavy lyrics, you know. And when you hear Jay Stone, it's the same thing with him. It's definitely the same thing. So I think that just rubbed off on them. And so, you know, to take it a step further, when you really think about like West Coast rap is known for like not necessarily like lyricism. You know, I guess you can say one of the most lyrical West Coast rappers that was in the past was like Tupac, and also you gotta say Corrupt. You know, those two were very, very lyrical, you know, in their style and their delivery and things like that. You know what I mean? But, you know, I guess this new generation of West Coast artists have like kind of like focus on the lyricism. You know, I guess they have put a big emphasis on lyrics. And so this definitely appears in the album. And that's who I was thinking about with the guest feature, because I was like trying to put my hand on the guest feature, but the guest feature I was thinking about was Snoop Dogg. He's on the album as well. So if I were to give this album, and this is Jay Stone's debut album, if I were to give this album like out of a possible 4 stars, I would definitely give it like a 3.5. You know, this album is a very good album. Like, I mean, I got a lot of songs on this album on repeat. There's hardly any like songs that I wouldn't listen to if I'm like driving or anything like that, or if I'm just trying to like study some, like dissect some messages in these songs and stuff like that. So if you're into like lyricism, if you're into reality rap, because I'm into reality rap, because I don't want to tell like all of my story, but I've been through some things that, like, through some things that are basically inside these inside his album. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I related to Nip so much, because what he talked about, some of the things he talked about, I relate to myself. You know, like, sometimes I don't want to get into detail, but you're just in situations where you're like, where it's like, you know, this is crazy. Like, this is really like a wartime situation. You know what I mean? Sometimes you be in situations like that. But anyhow, man, if you're, as I said, into reality rap, get this album. If you're into like that, like kind of hardcore hip hop, then you're gonna want to check this out. But if you're into, I'm trying to put my hand on it, if you're into more happy-go-lucky, bouncy type of things that, you know, you just say, like a lot of people say, when they're dancing, a lot of people say, hey, and stuff like that, then this album probably won't like appeal to you. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now. Fuller signing out. Enjoy.